Hello everyone, Santier here with Let's Make a Game Astral Collision. Now, the Religion for Games crossover continues, so if you didn't see yesterday's video, I continue to work on developing some of the backstory and world setting sort of stuff for this in terms of like the narrative and the plot and how things have kind of come about. But that's not what we're here for today, because if you want to know what happened then, you can go to then, or you can wait a couple of weeks until I finish the whole process and then give kind of an overview of all of that. So I've had a little bit of a busy week. Predominantly what I've worked on is more of this, specifically more of this. So as you might notice, and I come down here, there are some doors that have started to appear on a number of these buildings. I've had to figure out how I'm going to reference them. And you can see that there's a bunch of maps. I copied and pasted the Hunter's Home from the northern village and just threw it into all these places because it made it simpler. But then to be clear, to grab things like playing background music properly, and like, so if we go over here, you can see this plays the background music, and if I go into the edit, the locale and all that. So I've just been putting together houses. My general process for this, I'll go over the general process in a moment. So here's this house right here. So I guess now's as good a time as any. My general process is to kind of count the roof tiles. So this is, you can see 3 by 5. So that's how many floor tiles I give myself over here. So 3 by 5. So that's the general process I take for building a house. So this is that house, and then this house is 2, 1. Because it's on row 1, and it's the second one. X, Y is what's going on. So X is this way, Y is this way. So you can see that house here. This one is a tiny little guy, very compact. Probably some sort of soldier or something lives in here. You can see the floor is basically a rug. Then there's this guy right here. That's going to be 4, 1, and you can see right here, it's got that kind of shape going on and all that sort of stuff. Got a little bit more space, got a bunch of bottles, something that they're drinking over there. There's no particular intention of like who lives here or anything. I'm just kind of fleshing stuff out, right? Filling up the space and what feels good and that sort of thing. So this is the next one. Very long and skinny house. And then we have this house. Now, this house was a little bit trickier to work on just because I had to figure out how far did it go over here in order to get its dimensions. But it's this house right here. You'll notice it has a wooden floor, which is very intentional because it has a basement. Which I should actually be putting like a pillar or something right here, I realized, to connect with this pillar right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go and grab... It's going to be over here, isn't it? Let's go ahead and grab one of these guys and stick it right there. So somebody lives up here, and somebody lives in the corresponding spot in the basement. And of course, there's water there. And that's that. That house. Now, one of the things I did have to do for this, and I'm not entirely sure I've gotten in the right place, but this has to have a different locale to it. So I had to add a locale. You can see it's locale 4. This is a locale for, it's a candlelit area that doesn't receive daylight, which is really important because most areas, like locale 2 here, if I go into my, where is day cycles? Here it is. I always have a hard time finding it for some reason. You can see I have an inside firelit. This is the one that's typically being used. Now, I also have this one, which has it without having exterior lighting, is sort of the idea. Or interior lighting, excuse me. It just uses outside lighting. But the day-night cycle has different values for each of these, so they have slightly different colors going on. Whereas over here, windowless fire is supposed to be kind of more of a constant. Here's the fire effect. I may adjust it a bit more. I may just take the lit fire night settings and copy and paste them. I haven't fully decided yet. That's kind of a work in progress to like what feels good for that location. But, you know, was working on that as well. And then we have this big house right here, which is 1, 2. So you can see it takes up a big chunk of space. They have a lot of books, a lot of additional seating for guests and whatnot. So that's more or less what's happened. I can go into these houses. So let's go ahead and get this going. It might take it a moment because I haven't run it in a little while, and that always means it takes a moment to start up. Any moment now. Any moment. Here we are. Let's pause the music because this is about to get all music-y for us. Okay. So I know this is a bit louder than that was. Hopefully it's not too loud for all of you. Yes. It does not know what time of day it is until I start moving because of quirks. Quirks, I say. So here we can go into this house. We can go down here. So I might make this a bit darker. You can see this looks a little bit light. So I might make it the same color as this, just all the time. Yeah. Now I have to go all the way around here because that's how stairs work. And then I can go into this house, and I mean it's pretty straightforward, but that's how it goes sometimes, you know. Eventually it'll become daytime. I'm going to need to figure out how I'm going to handle that transition, by the way, because what I can do is I can set NPCs to do different things at different times of day. But when it switches from one time of day to the other, and I don't have a clock, so I'd have no idea what time it is right now. But when it switches from one to another, I don't know if I want NPCs jumping position or not. We'll see how I handle all of that, though. Should I be moving these things down and giving them a top border? I haven't been giving them a top border, as you can see. I could expand everything and give them a top border. Let me know what you think. When I say top border, what I mean is, like, see how this thing goes up and then ends? But if I go back to a really good example, actually, is the house that's on screen. But this one right here. You'll notice this has a top border along this wall, right? This wall goes up to something, but then this one just kind of terminates. Should I shift all these down, or like make these all one taller and give them a border along the top edge? I might do that just for visual consistency with things like this. Anyway, that's just random thinking about, like, how do I want things to look. So yeah, that's been what's going on so far. Just want to fill the rest of these out and get to filling out the city here. So anyway, thank you for watching, and until next time, everyone, take care and goodbye.